it up. Now, performance-wise, this phone has that Qualcomm Snapdragon 835 chipset, an octa-core CPU, an Adreno 540 GPU, and 4GB of RAM on the base model, and then 6GB of RAM on the top tier model. And what I can tell you about the performance of this phone is that it's still a pretty good performing phone for the most part. I would scale it maybe like a 7.5 to 8 out of 10 when you factor in the age of this phone and even like the price tag and all that, because it's not a slow performing phone by any means. First of all, for day-to-day tasks, if you're just opening apps and you're going to one app and the other and all that stuff, for the most part, it's going to be okay. The biggest problem may be in the RAM management nowadays, because when you have, 8 gigs of RAM on these new phones, if you're rocking the base model of the S8 Plus, you're definitely going to feel like you have somewhat of a slow phone in terms of, loading up apps and apps closing out in the background. But if you're not expecting the most in terms of the RAM management, I think the app opening speeds on this phone are still pretty good. And I think once you have the app open on the phone, that in and of itself is also another huge, good thing about this phone too, because I played a lot of games on the, Galaxy S8 Plus. I played a lot of apps and Temple Run and all this crazy stuff. Not crazy, those apps aren't crazy, but anytime I, played with this phone for the last couple of years that I owned it, it really hasn't been any issues. It's pretty much done everything I wanted to throw at it. And as I said before, this is another huge advantage of this type of device. When you have a phone like a Samsung Galaxy S8 Plus, you're not going to feel like you have an outdated phone. There are some areas where you are going to feel like it is a little bit dated. I think specifically in the RAM management, like I stated, but also when it comes down to the whole entire software experience, there's a lot of bogged downness that just comes down with Samsung's One UI. They still haven't perfected it. It's still, a huge problem in my opinion. But I will tell you, for the most part and for the time being, you're going to have a pretty fast phone. It's not going to be, faster than any phone that came out in the last 2 years. But like I said before, when you factor in the age and the price of this phone, it's really not that bad of an experience overall. So in terms of the performance, that pretty much covers it up. Now,